Hey guys, it's Miss Truelove. It's Monday. We're in April. I've lost track of what day it even is really, because the days just kind of wander into one day to the next. I hope everybody's doing well. I've had a chance to talk to some of you guys, chatting on Facebook on our Facebook page, and um, there's several people that asked. I did see a show on the news last night on ABC 3340 where they did share that there are companies out there that are helping to provide people that do not have laptops and stuff like or computers um, with those. And my best suggestion is to go to abc3340.com and you can look up that information there. I tried to share it as best I could on the page last night, but it wasn't sharing well. Um, but I wanted to give you guys that option because some of you guys I know are trying to do stuff on your phones and it's not being, it would be better if you guys had used some sort of other device. Um, but that there is an option out there for you guys. And if I hear about any others, I'll share that with you as well. Um, this week we're going to shift gears into a different area. We're talking about graphic organizers today. And we're going to be talking about just how people organize their data. Now, if you're going into a job in a business or um, working in a company, whether you work in a restaurant or some sort of business. Even as teachers, we use graphs. Graphs and organizing data is something that'll be important. This is not like some useless information that you will not need in the future. You will use graphic information in the future. Organizing data. Organizing the data helps to more easily interpret and analyze what has been observed. It's important to select the best kind table or graph um, for understanding the results and for communicating the results. So, I mean, there's multiple types of graphs. You just need to pick the best one to fit your needs or the needs of what you're trying to convey to other people. So that's why there's so many different types. Presentation, we're going to be looking at a lot of donuts because donuts make people happy. So this is a data table, and we're looking over here. If you look at this at our little graph right here, we're looking at the number of donuts that were sold, and on a particular in a particular work week. And we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then you see they have their plain and your chocolate and your jelly donuts and the number of each that is sold. So why would that be important? So they would know how much productivity they needed, for donuts. Data tables are a means of organizing the data into rows and columns. And so it's just organizing, instead of just like having some random numbers written down on a piece of paper. It's just organizing that information and putting it in a um, nice table. Um, it also enables you to sort information, analyze the information, and compare it. You can compare how many plain donuts were sold on Monday as to compare to how many plain donuts were sold on Friday, or how many chocolate donuts people ate. Looks like people eat a lot of chocolate donuts on Wednesday, and so you would know that Wednesday is your big seller day. But look at Friday; not many people wanted it on Friday. Um, so that's how you could interpret and analyze your data. Here we have our frequency table. A frequency table is used to display the number of times a piece of data occurs in a specific time. So we can see that, students' favorite donut, got plain 9, chocolate 13, jelly only 3 people. So we see that, of course, more people like the chocolate ones than the plain or the jelly. So we could use that to know that we probably will need to make more chocolate donuts and do a lot less of the jelly. A bar graph. Bar graphs are used to display data that fits into categories or types of tracks over time. So we see we have some different, more um, specified different kinds of donuts here. We got cinnamon, jelly, glazed, chocolate, and cake donuts. And we see the number of times, a number of donuts that are bought. This is really Miss Cardwell. She's the donut lady. And she likes to buy, look, the chocolate ones. And so we see there that we can see there in that bar graph that the types of donuts and which ones are bought the most by teachers. I'd agree with this, that it'd probably be the chocolate ones. Um, they don't even have cream filled ones, and so that's a real shame on this graph, but they need to add that. Histograms are used to display data that fits into a range, and the range of each bar tells how much falls into each range. So we see here we have um, number of students over here on this side where the little red dot is, and we have the number of donuts eaten. So we see that the people that eaten the one or two donuts is about 7 people that can stop at 1 or 2. They got willpower. Then you get over here, 3 to 4 will eat 5 donuts. Numbers, well, I'm wrong. The number of donuts, people who ate 3 to 4 donuts is about 5 people. And then the number of people who ate 5 to 6 was only 2. People who ate 78 donuts was 2. And then people who really love some donuts over here, this 10, there was only 1. And so that's just you can look at it in a range to see, you know, um, we need to be over here and be good and be in this little range right here where we can just stop at the 1 and 2 donuts. But I don't know anybody who could do this 10. But yeah, stay over here, stay away from here. Slide here. On this next slide here, we have a pictogram. And a pictogram uses pictures or symbols that represent an amount of data. They should always have a key that explains it. Here's our key. So, the one that's a whole circle represents 10. And if it has a bite out of it, it represents 5. And it says donuts eaten by icing color. So we have pink ones, we have 10, 20, 30, 40 donuts eaten. Blue ones, 10, 20, 30 eaten. And then orange ones, well, only 5. But that's just a good way to represent data. A line graph shows data that is in some way connected, like how things change over time or at different rates. So we see over here is day number 1. We had the number of donuts was 5 were eaten, but on day number 2, on day number 2, day number 1, nobody ate any. Day number 2, you had 5 donuts. Day number 3, you ate 3 donuts. Day number 4, you had 4 donuts. Day number 5, you had 2. And on day number 6, you only had 1. And so you can just track when and how much of a specific data. Now we have an area graph that also shows data, but the area under the line is filled with a color includes two or more sets of data at the same on the same graph. So we see the same data as we saw in the first one over here on week 1, but now we've also seen a second week over here, and it's included in a different color. So they can compare one week to another week's consumption of donuts, the number of donuts sold. Then on this one, we have a scatter plot. Scatter plots are used to show the relationship between two sets of data or how one value affects another. So we can sit there and look and see we have a student's weight and a student's height, and we can um, we can plot all that data over there just on a scatter plot. So you're we have so you just see how this range of students. We could do this with all y'all. We could put your where you guys fall in ranges if we could do this amongst all of us as well. So we have here our pie graphs, and it makes sense to talk about pie graphs when we're talking about donuts. But pie graphs are used to show the relative size of data or what part of each category contributes to the whole. It always equals up to 100%. If we look up here at our graph up here at the top, we see that 45% of the people types eating donuts are chocolate, followed by cake and plain, each having 20%, jelly with 10, and cream with 5. If you add that up, 45 and 20 makes 65, and 20 is 85, plus 10 is 95, and plus 5 equals 100. So we see that all equals up to 100. A company would use this to and like the other graphs to decide which donuts they need to produce the most of. Um, I think this information is not correct based on my knowledge of donuts, which is a great amount of information I know about donuts. And I do not think that this number right here on the cream is anywhere near accurate. Cream has got to be higher than jelly. And I mean, not 5%. I mean, that's wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Um, but anyhow, a business could use this to decide, how much of what they make. And then you can use it for not just with donuts. You can use it with, different kinds of drinks you need to make, like whether you need to order Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, or does your company want to use Pepsi, or do you want to, how much sweet tea should you make? Um, and do you want hamburgers, cheeseburgers, any sort of things, in a company, how much you produce, how many red cars you should produce, how many blue cars, so it's practical information that you would use in the workforce, and no matter what kind of business you're in. But anyhow, that's the end of this. So I am going to say sayonara, spend some time today on iExcel where I'll be posting some assignments. If you get a chance, please visit us on the Job Corps Facebook and check in and say hi. Like to hear from you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.